My name is Anita Thomas, and I graduated Youth for Tomorrow back in June of 2011.
How do you feel when you come back to campus? It's been a few years since you graduated. What are your thoughts as you drive back to campus?
Well, coming in today, Larry, it was very exciting to see all the new homes that were up and to see the building that's being constructed right now. So it makes me proud to see that Youth for Tomorrow has been growing.
What is special about Youth for Tomorrow?
Well, I think a lot. Youth for Tomorrow is a place where it's a place of refuge, where broken people can come to begin to heal, to begin to, I guess, unravel what has led them here, try to heal from any past traumas, and just a place where you can regroup and try to get yourself together out before you go back into the world.
Tell us where you're from and tell us what brought you originally to Youth for Tomorrow.
Yes, so I'm from Manassas, Virginia, and a couple of things brought me to Youth for Tomorrow. I was going to Parkside Middle School in Manassas, and I actually got expelled in 8th grade. I had gotten 1 felony and 2 misdemeanors, juvenile, of course, and I actually got accepted into Youth for Tomorrow when no other alternative schools in Prince William County would accept me because of my charges. And so I was actually here as a day student. So I was here for about, I want to say 5 months as a day student. I was doing really well. I was getting myself back on track because I had been expelled prior. I was actually about a year behind in school. So I was doing that, and then my certain family situation, we ended up being homeless. And that was really hard for me, of course, trying to manage school and then get back and forth, you know, here. And so I'm the oldest of 3 siblings, and so it was very hard overall. And Jean Jones actually sat down and spoke with me because she could tell something was wrong, and I told her my situation, and I had an interview to come into the independent living program at the time and got accepted.
Wow. So what were some of the things you found here? What were some of the things you learned as we go through our journeys? You know, a lot of different people help you along the way, but what were some of the things that you needed?
Wow, structure, number one. Structure was a big one. The old program used to have house parents, and so we were in the Nancy house at the time, and that was the independent living home, and so ILP. So basically having that house parent model was very beneficial because I was able to see what 2 functioning, healthy adults look like, interacting with each other, and then interacting with the children around them, and what those, because my mother was a single parent, and so I didn't get to see that mother-father interaction really. And so it was very helpful to see that. Also, being at the school, having more individualized education, that was very helpful. Talking to the different therapists. So overall, the whole experience from being in residential as well as the school was very helpful.
You look very happy at your graduation.
Thank you. I was very proud. I made salutatorian.
So as you look back, who are some of the folks you mentioned? Jean Jones.
Yes, very big figure.
But I know you were happy to have graduated. You're also probably mixed emotions to leave. You got to go back into the real world and find the next step. But talk about some of the people that helped you when you were here.
Oh, wow. Dr. Tinsley, Mr. Gregg, Jean Jones. I forgot the name of my biology teacher, but he helped me as well. The Kitchens, Miss Lewis, Mr. Duncan Jones, of course, Dr. Jones. Love Jones, the beautiful, sweet woman that's at the front desk, Miss Coates. Yes, Mrs. Coates. I mean, just so many people, so many people.
Well, you've done a good job identifying them. What was next for you? You look so happy at graduation, but what were some of the next steps after you left Youth for Tomorrow for you?
Well, after Youth for Tomorrow, I had gotten accepted into Salem College down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and also Army ROTC at Wake Forest University. They're about 5 miles apart from each other. So I went there for about a year, 2 semesters. I didn't do well. I did not do well. I didn't take it serious enough, and I guess I just didn't realize how sheltered I was here. You know, and not in a bad way. You know, I needed that sheltering. I needed that stability and comfort to, you know, from the trauma that I had experienced prior to coming here. But I guess I just I didn't translate that too well going into the real world. So, but after that, I actually took some time off. I went back to Nova after a year after I was working. And then after that, I got into ODU and had my first kid, took a break. And now I'm back at it. I have my second kid, and I have 8 classes left until I get my bachelor's.
So what are some of the things you still remember that you put to use now? You're going to get your degree and you're raising 2 children. I would have to think some of the lessons learned here you're still applying today.
Oh, most certainly, most certainly. Interactions with my own children and my own household. Like I said, having that safe, secure, comforting home, providing that for them. Trying to be a role model in my everyday actions. Because it's one thing to say, do this or do that, but it's another thing to show them why they should or shouldn't do that. And so that's something big that I learned here. A lot of people not just talk the talk, but also walk the walk here. And that was very beneficial being adolescent, seeing that. And so I try to provide that for my children. Also, interactions with people. You never know what someone has gone through. And it's given me a different lens, working with other people or interacting with other people. Basically, just being aware that everyone has trauma, and to not assume anything from just looking at someone.
Right. Coach Gibbs' vision when he first opened Youth for Tomorrow was to build a youth home based on godly principles. Yes. And was that something you needed? Could you speak on that a little bit as part of your journey?
Yes. So the chapel at that time hadn't been built just yet. And so for us, Bible study took place in the home. It was very nice to have that experience and to practice Bible study as well. Like I said, it provided stability. It helped bring spirituality, spiritual understanding to worldly things that we've experienced, and comfort to know that God loves us, no matter what we've done or what we've been through.
Well, you're a great testament to Youth for Tomorrow and for your own perseverance in overcoming adversity. What advice might you give a young lady who might be facing the same type of problems you were facing? Things aren't easy these days, and you know, we know that there are struggles for a lot of young folks. Any advice you might want to pass on?
Oh, wow. I would have to say, first and foremost, learning to love yourself. Self-love is very big. Because I know at that time I was looking to love others, you know, boys specifically, looking to be in a relationship, and not really having value for myself or loving myself, especially given what I had gone through. And so personal healing and self-love are very powerful. And to just enjoy being a teen, especially if you're at Youth for Tomorrow, because all those world stresses are taken off of you. You don't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. You don't have to worry about if you're going to have clothes, a place to sleep. All of that is provided, so take advantage of that, because going out into the real world, you're going to have to provide for yourself. So take advantage of that. Enjoy being young. Enjoy being in a sheltered, safe place, and just self-love and self-care.